Hey everyone, my name's Amanda and I'm doing this video for my Dakota County Master Recycler and Composter class. Normally we would be out in the community teaching people these things, but since COVID hit, it's gone a little bit more digital. So what I'm going to cover today is how to recycle the things or dispose of the things that we're getting in the student meals, so the free to-go meals that the schools are giving out, that they want you to come pick up because that means that they can get funding for it too. These are things that would be in the school lunches and also food that they have that they needed to use for the year that they couldn't because there was no school. So I'm going to show you how to put those in the right place, whether it's the recycling or the trash, or maybe how to upcycle them too. Alright, so there's lots of different things. It's really easy to go get the food. All you have to do is go to the school, they walk up, you put a mask on, they say, how many do you want? And you go 2 or 6 if you're picking up for the whole neighborhood, which is a lot easier. And they put them out on a table and you grab them and you walk away. So super easy. I know it's pretty late in the summer to be making this, but it didn't really come up until now. And I'm not sure what they're going to be doing for the school year too, if there's any lunches available. I haven't heard that plan yet, so I don't know if it'll continue or not past the summer. But here's the things that you get. So you get a bag, or 2 bags, or a few bags. Sometimes they'll give you a box if you have a lot of things. So I guess we can start with the box. If you do get a box, cardboard. It does have tape, it does have some labels on it. It looks like this was from like a bread thing that they had, so it's nice that they're reusing some of those. So what you're going to do with your cardboard box is you're going to flatten it. So you do have to flatten your boxes. You take the tape off, flatten it down. Any of the stickers and labels you can leave on there. So when this is going through at the paper mill, that's going to get sorted out. So don't worry about the labels and peeling off the labels over time. So you can leave those on there. Just clean, empty, dry is like the number one thing if you're putting something in the recycling. It has to be clean so it doesn't contaminate other paper products that are in there. It has to be empty because otherwise it's not clean, and dry. So you don't want more than like a teaspoon of liquid in anything. Alright, so paper, that's easy. Clean cardboard, that'll go in your recycling. We have the bags that these come in. So there's a couple different types of bags that we've gotten. These bags are not supposed to be put in your curbside recycling. I know a lot of bags say that they're recyclable, but those are for special drop-off sites. So if you're going to Target, if you're going to Lowe's, if you're going to Cub Foods and a few other stores, normally have those. Not all of them are taking plastic bags right now since the springtime, but I know there are some places that are starting to bring that back. So they have the drop-offs where you put them in there's like a few little holes there, and then you put it in the right spot. Sometimes I save up my bags and I have to make a few trips. I kind of lift the whole lid off and jam them in there, but you know, it's where you drop off your recycling, your plastic bags. So if your plastic bag has, when you pull it 2 different ways, if it can stretch, it can go in there. I even do, like, I would say cereal bags are the least stretchy ones that can go into those plastic recyclings. So not in your curbside, but save them up to drop off for special plastic recycling at the store. We have a special spot in our front closet where we just put them right in a bag, a bigger bag, and then when that's full, we just put that up and put it in the garage to go in the car to go to the store. Alright, so let's look in here. We have a few items. We have our cartons. Always check with your hauler to see if they do take some of these things too. A lot of them have really good lists on their websites on what they do accept and what they don't accept. So cartons would be one of those things that you would want to double check. Or call your hauler. I've called them lots of times in the last year after my class. I'm like, oh, do you take this? And they appreciate the calls because if there's something that isn't supposed to go in there, it can be on top of something else that maybe they don't see, and they're spending time taking that thing that you were wish cycling is what it's called. You hope it's recyclable, you have the best intentions, but you're not sure, so you put in the recycling, hope it'll get recycled, but they don't want you to do that because most of the time it just clogs things up. So they don't want to cover up things that they really need to get out, like a big piece of metal that might clog a machine. It might cost $100,000 to fix the machine, and somebody's going to have to get up there, and that could be dangerous for the workers too, or a fire hazard too. So they want it to be, if you're sure it goes in recycling, great. If you're not sure, don't put in recycling. When in doubt, throw it out is a big rule too. So cartons, these are now clean, empty, and dry. So I just emptied them out, and these should be good to go in recycling. We have some little containers here. So I noticed there's a lot of things in the lunches that come in little tiny cups, like a lot of kids' snacks do, right? So they have the aluminum foil tops, and then the cups on the back. So these have, if you can see, I know it's hard to see on here, but it has that little number 5 within the arrows on the bottom. So a lot of people think that this is, hey, that means I can recycle this automatically, boom, recycling. And that's not true at all. So this is a number that tells you what it's made out of. It's a resin identification number. So it tells you that it's made out of the number 5 PP plastics for this. We want to only take right now, we want to recycle number 1, 2, and 5. There's just not markets for the other numbers right now. Even black plastic, even if it has a 1, 2, or a 5 on it, there's just not a market for black plastic. And that might change soon. We don't know, it always changes. So 1, 2s, and 5s are what you're looking for in that resin identification number code on the bottom of things there. So this one is number 5. This is about the smallest that you want to recycle. If it's any smaller than a Post-it note, it's gonna slip right through the machinery that sorts everything, and it's not gonna get recycled anyways. So this is about as small as you could go. Even like this one, it's a little smaller. The cheese one, it's pretty small too. So I'd say these fruit juice and the fruit cup ones are gonna be the big or the smallest size that you guys can recycle. So what I do with the aluminum tops is I take them off and just rinse them underwater. I dry them out, and with the aluminum and the foil, we have a little upcycled pancake mix, and we keep this underneath our sink, and we put all of our foil in there, and then when we get a big piece of foil that is clean enough and not greasy and everything to put in there, what we do is we ball it up really small, and we ball it up with the other pieces and squish them together, and then when we have a big enough mass to put in here, we put the big aluminum foil over top of it, and you want to make it so that it is a 3-inch diameter ball of aluminum foil, and then it's big enough that you can put it in your curbside recycling. Otherwise, these little ones are just too small to recycle. They won't make it through, but aluminum foil is a good thing to recycle, so they do want that. Raisin boxes, they're pretty small, so they're kind of like iffy on the size for them. What I do, as well as my other scraps of paper that I have lying around the house, is I save under the sink. I save a bigger envelope that is already used, and I put all my paper in there, so we have smaller scraps of like office paper and things. So when this is full, we seal it up, and you can staple it shut too, because again, just like the labels, those are gonna get weeded out in the process of making the pulp. And then we recycle this whole thing as long as it's all contained. So you can put your smaller scraps of paper in, or cardboard in those. What I have here. We have brown paper napkins. Those can go in your compost. You never want to put anything that is like bleached in your compost or the city's compost because it has the chemicals in it. So the brown is the one that you can put in there, or the compostable ones. And then I had to do a little digging on the cups. So this is like a soup cup, and it says compostable on the side. Usually you want to look for the little BPI logo on there. It's like a little green leaf. Or if it says certified compostable. I did look on their website, and it does say that they are certified compostable. It also says on the side that this cup conforms to ASTM 6868, and so I looked up what that is, and then also on the top it says that too, that it is commercially compostable. And what that means is don't throw it in your backyard compost, put it in the free city compost program that they have in Dakota County, where you can drop it off to different sites around. So if your backyard compost isn't going to get hot enough to break this down, but a commercial compost place will do the trick. So those can go in the compost. More aluminum foil. I kind of have garbage laying all over my house to save up for booths and things for volunteer hours. So this is pretty normal for me. All right, so we had some cans, and the cans are definitely something that can be recycled very easily and back on the shelves in no time. So what you do after you clean out your cans, you don't have to worry about the labels, but you definitely can take those off to put in your paper recycling envelope. But the caps are too small to be put in the recycling by themselves. So once you're done with the lids, again, little spot that we keep a whole bunch of lids. So we put them in this giant tomato can because it's big enough for all of them, all the sizes. And we put the lids in there. They just hang out until we fill it up. And then we squish this down really tight. You can either step on it, or if you're strong enough to squeeze it, that works. And then that way they're all contained inside there, and then that whole thing can go in so that those loose lids don't fall out and get wasted. We've got a bag of beans because they were giving away some boxes of non-perishable items too. The beans, obviously if you're not eating all the food, the extra food can go into the compost. But the bag, we have number 4, and this is something that can be stretched 2 different ways. So that can go into your special bag recycling at the store. All right, now we're gonna look at some of the things that we can't really compost or recycle or anything else, it seems like. And all this stuff, if you have a reason to use like cans or these little cups, whether you're doing crafts with your kids or you use them to scoop something or put something in, definitely upcycle them and give them a little bit longer life. So you can use your creativity on that. And all right, we got some wrappers. We have chips, the pizza wrappers. I think the apples come in here. This is a bag that it has some noodles in it. This is not going to stretch 2 ways, and it's super crinkly and loud. So that's kind of a clue that it's also not going to be able to be put in that special plastics recycling. So this kind of bag is garbage when you're done with that. We have a spork. It doesn't say anything on it about being compostable, so I'm going to assume that it's waste. We have mackerel fillets. This is going to be waste too. Some of the muffins come in the liners. If it's a total paper liner, that can probably be composted, not in the recycling, because it's still going to be dirty. The paper has to be really clean for it to be worth anything, and you can tell this still has some crumbs on it. So this one has some like filigree, shiny decorations on it. I don't think that's just paper. I think there might be like a waxing coating on it, so I'm going to put it in the trash just because I don't know, and if I'm not sure, it's better in the trash. The really valuable ones are the paper, the cardboard, and the cans. So the cans and glass. I haven't seen any glass in the meals. I don't think there are any, so you don't have to worry about that with these meals, but glass and the cans are their number 1 thing that they want. I have crackers, little condiment wrappers, the chips, the French toast, sunflower seeds. This This is the French toast wrapper. Again, not totally sure, so trash. And then the spork's inside the plastic. This isn't going to be plastic probably that you can, yeah, you can't stretch it. So that's going to go in the trash. And then again with the smaller, like fruit cups and some of the sauces cups or the beans for the chips, these are going to be too small. So we're going to put that in the trash too. Alright, I hope you found this informative and it gives you a little bit more knowledge on how to recycle some of the things, and even though some of it, a lot of it's waste, that we can still recycle a lot of the stuff that we're getting. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Bye.